detailed statement from her. BBL procedures are often considered the most dangerous plastic surgeries. The gluteal area is full of major blood vessels. If a surgeon goes too deep with the insertion, fat can enter the bloodstream and block the heart or the lungs, potentially resulting in death. Legendary music sensation Dolly Parton has opened up about the multiple cosmetic surgeries she's gotten over the years. The confident and unapologetic icon isn't afraid to admit she spends money on her appearance. In conversation with Saga Magazine, the 77-year-old discussed how she's more than willing to undergo surgery. Parton said, "I try to do just little bits at a time. I don't do like really big stuff, only when I have to do something a little more, and even then I try to be careful." Now, the question is, cosmetic surgery, especially BBL and liposuction, being the rave of the moment for women in these times, do you consider the process worth it, looking at the risk? Mr. Ray, I would start with you. I'd like to garner your male perspective from this angle. What do you think?
Since you've called from the male perspective, I'll do exactly just that. Most cosmetic surgeries and procedures are mainly embraced by many of the women folk, because let's be very, very candid. Most women are very, very particular about how they look. It's a very, very conscious thing, and they have been the biggest customers of this particular industry. Looking at it, dissecting it very well, there are medical purposes for plastic surgery per se. There are medical reasons for such to take place. And those medical boundaries are being drawn between what is needed for life to continue, what is needed for confidence to be built, what is needed for comfort, what is needed for health. Definitely, most of it revolves mainly around adding fat on the waistline, sagging eye bags under the eyes, also having maybe some of them have flat bottoms, flat buttocks. Maybe some of them also have thin lips, and they need it to be accentuated. Sometimes it might involve those that cannot really control how big they are becoming, obesity. So they sometimes need medical procedure to make sure that they stay within the confines of health. But when it goes beyond that, you now have those that are addicted to medical procedures and now make it a thing of, I like this image. Oh, this doll baby, Barbie, looks so trim, so slim, so skinny. The cheekbones are high, the lips are very thick, the hairline, the eyes, everything looks pretty and perfect. I want to always look like this. So one procedure is not enough, 2 is not enough, 3 is not enough. It has now crossed the medical boundary. It's now going into strictly cosmetic. That's when I think the cosmetic aspect of it comes in, when you don't think that makeup is enough. You now have to go into medical surgery to be as prim and proper as the image in your head. And it has brought about a lot of sad tales.
Yeah, you spoke about medical boundaries. Why do you think women cross these medical boundaries to recreate a certain look?
Women have, apart from the medical aspect of it, if it's medical, it's understandable. It's without you don't have control over what happens medically. But when you go into the sphere of cosmetic looking, trying to do it for beauty's sake only, because the way you perceive yourself to, you want to look prim and proper always. You now have a situation that's at hand where it's an epidemic right now, because I mean a lot of women look different from what they were before, not because of the medical issues per se, but because they have a they have this mental picture that this is how I must always look. This is how people perceive me. People have to see me in a good light. I don't want to look old. I don't want to age. And, you know, we are fighting with nature. So you do this surgery, and in the next 2 or 3 years, some part is beginning to sag again, and you do it over again. And after some time, there are health implications that come up. Don't forget the wife of our former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. She died on the table while undergoing this procedure, whether it was for...
How are we sure that it was, I mean, something...
She was doing liposuction.
Is it on record?
It is on record.
It was liposuction?
It is on record by a Spanish doctor.
Okay.
You get the point. So, I mean, if such a person of that cadre could still want to look prim and proper, even if she's a very beautiful woman, but she still wanted more, man, I don't want my stomach to get bigger. I mean, I can't even use ghettos again. I don't want to use ghettos. I want the tummy to be prim. And at that age, there are some certain expectations from your body that cannot be met. You have to accept and love yourself the way you are. So I think many of the female folks have crossed that boundary to be like, oh, if the doctor can make me look like this, I always have to go back to the doctor to make it look like this. So one is not enough. More than one is preferable. So at a point in time, it crosses the line from health. It now becomes very damaging. It becomes a life-threatening issue. And some people also lose their lives while undergoing these procedures.
Gloria, I see you concurring. You're nodding your head in affirmation. I need to know, there seems to be some sort of pressure for women to undergo...
I will go with Raymond's, one of his statements towards the end of his mistake there, where he said, he talked about loving and accepting yourself. You know, everything we do, how we carry ourselves, how we perceive ourselves and all of that. Of course, how we carry ourselves has to do with perception, first of all, right? How do you see yourself? Do you love yourself the way you are? Do you accept yourself the way you are? Your physique and everything. You know, I've really pondered about this BBL of a thing and how that, you know, it's the rave of the moment. Every lady wants to, you know, do it. They want to transform their look and look all figure eight-ish, for lack of a better word, you know. And for the Parton there, I like the audacity, the boldness, you know. If it's sagging, I'll talk it in. Well, for me, I think I would start by saying that it all starts with perception and acceptance, all right? And pressure. There are what we call self-inflicted pressures, and that comes from perception. So life is all about perception.
Okay, so this perception, this self-inflicted
Pressure.
As you have called it, do you really think it is that women bring this upon themselves? So don't you think the society pressures them to have a certain look, to look a certain way?
Yeah, I was coming there. You know, I mentioned there are two aspects of pressure. One is the self-inflicted pressure, and the other is the external pressure, right? And one of the forms of external pressure is body shaming, all right? Many people are not comfortable in their skin because of body shaming. And so they grow up wanting to feel better. They grow up wanting to be accepted in society. But they forget that acceptance starts with yourself first. So I agree that society contributes to this, but society has no say when you haven't said anything, right? It's what you accept. It's what you decide that eventually holds sway in your life, all right? So for me, you asked if it's worth it, you know. There's always a way. Now, honestly, there are situations where, can be a medical condition. For instance, obesity. For instance, the inability to control how you eat. Yeah, we had that situation with one of the renowned comedians in Nigeria who just, had a surgery because of how big she was getting, and owing to the fact that she actually cannot control how she eats. So she had to work on herself. But we now, ladies, we don't know how to, rather, we don't want to set the boundaries because we want to look acceptable in society. That's how I will put it. We want to look acceptable in society. We want to, blend and, fit into what society thinks as, the acceptable kind of body. Do you understand? Just as the guys would, want to go to the gym to get all the six packs and, build all their muscles and all of that. Why? Because, many term that to be attractive. So ladies, in the same sense, want to look attractive, right? So rather than going through the organic way, through the natural means of workouts, the kind of food that you eat, and then also following medical prescriptions, we just want to do it quickly. We don't have that patience. Like, I don't have to go through all of that stress because I want to look good. When I could just go and get a surgery that would just transform my look overnight, right? So it's a matter of preference now, right? And values, priority. So now they prioritize how they want to look and feel in their skin over the repercussions of what they are actually doing. The consequences that may arise as a result of these surgeries.
So why do you think women do these things? As a woman, why do you feel that they go all the way?
Like I've said, it's a matter of priority, preference. Okay, they want to feel, I want to walk past the road and have people turn and look at me and gaze at me, and I'm like, ooh, both the male and the female counterpart. I want to be accepted. Right? I want to make a statement. I want to make an impression. So I don't mind going all the way. But they forget that it's not about how people see you or what people say. It's about how you feel about yourself. It's about how... So if we can begin to have a mind shift, because many people tend to get their validation from what people say, right? Rather, it should be from within.
So this validation now, is it coming from the men or the women?
It's
the women. The women looking for these validation. Mr. Ray, do you agree with her saying that the women need validation? One of the reasons is that they need validation. They need the attention that they get from engaging in these cosmetic procedures.
I would say, first of all, that man is a social animal. We are all social in one way or another, in different degrees. But at the same time, we all want to look good in front of our peers, in front of our folks, in front of people that admire us. We want to be at the center stage of every discussion. When we're walking, we want to court that attention. But definitely there is a thin line that cannot be crossed. There is a thin line that should be noticed, that should be at least you should abhor crossing that thin line, because you're now going within the phases of life and death.
But don't you think the women are looking for the attention of men by engaging in this cosmetic
women are fantastic. You don't just think that they are looking for men. Some of them are not just only concerned about how men feel about them. They're also concerned about how their own counterparts feel about them too. They want to let their fellow women understand that I'm on this level. If you ain't on this level, man, you ain't talking to me. If you ain't on this level, you're a bush woman. You understand? I'm very urban. I'm very, very tech. I'm very, very so 10 years forward. You're still last year. I'm aiming forward. This look in me shows that I am a forward-thinking person. This look in me shows that I am meeting up with the present rave of the moment. I'm meeting up with the present categories that strong and beautiful women all over the world look like. But at the same time,
So it's more of catching up with trends than it is for
I mean,
other purposes.
if we overrule the medical side of it, the other side of it is vanity. It's just for the vain aspect of it, and it costs so much. It's not like it's cheap. So people also run down their finances, people run down their health, people also run down family relationships just to make sure that they maintain this look or they get this look. And at the end of the day, I don't think maybe it leaves them in a better place, but because their mindset is always looking at the fact that if I look like this, I'll be better.
Yeah.
And so sometimes they still
Yeah.
get they lose money because, I mean, looking prettier doesn't make you richer.
It doesn't.
Well,
it doesn't.
that's
Gloria, do you?
arguable. That is
Yeah.
arguable.
Is that true? Do you agree with that?
Thank you for throwing this path, because I mean, so many people, for many ladies, that is their selling point. For many ladies, that's how they make their money. I mean, I have to look all set for my gig, you know what I'm saying? You know, so, see, the world has evolved. So there are different ways of making money for different people, right? And just as it is for the ladies, that's how it is for the guys. But now we're focusing on the ladies, right? There are ladies who, I mean, what we call runs girl. I mean, they've had different names for that. Anyways,
That's a profession.
Speaking, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's a full-time profession.
It's a profession.
Please.
So I mean, I have to look. Of course, it's prostitution, all right.
Okay.
But I'm saying that that's one aspect. The other aspect is not necessarily prostitution, but to get the attention of men, all right? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
To get the attention of men, right? And then for some persons, to get money from the men. For some other persons, just to be the chase. You know, just chase me. Just, let me feel. Just, there are ladies, I know of a lot of ladies who, they don't necessarily want to sleep with you, but they just want your money. Right? They just want your money. And so
That's an
for them,
interesting.
I'm telling you, they do not want
It
to
sounds
sleep
like
with
robbery.
It's robbery.
They don't want to sleep with you, but
It's
they
robbery.
want your money, right? They feel like, for them, they feel like if you love them, if you want them, then you should be able to spend on them. And so to make you spend on them the way that they want, they have to present themselves as that, valuable in that manner, such that, as in an expensive way, to put it better, right? And so, come on, look at me, I'm looking all flashy, all figure eight-ish, and all of that stuff. And a lot of men are attracted to those kind of looks.
And the payer would
you know?
like to get value for his money.
Of course, there is
In
that.
what way?
So when there are people who do this, I'm telling you. So, but of course there is always an end. The end is always not beautiful.
Okay.
When it's beginning to get out of hand, and they see that, oh, this person wants more, they have jackpot, and they are going to look for another catch. It's all scam. it's all scam, But the bottom line is, like I said earlier, it's a matter of priority, value system, and mindset, right? So if the mindset can shift from the impression you want to make, from having people to see you in a certain way, or from trying to get validation, attention, and all of that, to actually knowing that your validation is from within. It's about how you really feel about yourself, irrespective of what people are saying and what people are. You know that what you're saying does not make me, right? I don't have to be trendy. I don't have to be doing all that people are doing. I don't have to fall into your construct, into your definition of, an ideal shape to feel good in my skin or to even make money.
Now let's take a different perspective. Let's talk about childbirth and the need for cosmetic surgery regarding childbirth. You have a lot of women who give birth and they feel the need, oh, my body is no longer in the right shape. I feel like I need to get a tummy tuck. I need to get liposuction. And do you think would you want your wife to engage if she feels uncomfortable now that she's birthed so many children and feels the need to tuck it, to trim it, is this something that you would encourage, you would approve of?
I stated earlier, though, that there are medical reasons for this. It's not entirely wrong in its aspect. If a woman, after childbirth, after many years, and feels like her body is not as it ought to be, and she goes through the medical line, and they could understand, okay, let's do these procedures for you. There are many other procedures apart from even the one outwardly. I mean, there are women that had to pass through vaginal incisions for them to give birth. And after they've given birth, they have to have some stitches there. You get the point? It's surgery. But it's for a good reason. So, also, there are traditional ways of also doing these same things. There are traditional ways that women give birth, and when they give birth, and after some time, they begin to, you see these women that come to massage them, and give them hot massages, and some other procedure that you see local women in the villages still maintain their shape after having given birth to so many. So maybe the other ones in the city might feel like, oh, I want to get this same shape, but I don't want to pass through that pain that local woman passed. I'm not gonna stop any woman from looking good. I wouldn't. But you know, there's a compulsion. There's an addiction.
There has to be a need.
There's an addiction that comes with that.
Okay, for you, there has to be a need for a medical need or
yes,
postnatal need.
Definitely sometimes it affects those that have low self-esteem, first of all, because I know a lot of women that their body parts are sagging, but they are very hilarious. They are very they have
They're still
don't you
yes,
yeah,
yes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So I see it as preferences, but at the same time, there's still a thin line. When you cross that thin line from having a medical effect to now wanting to always look prim and proper using medical surgeries, and because there are other methods, it's not only curtailed to having a plastic surgery done on you. I mean, there are local methods that they use in also massaging the tummy after birth, and after then to remove the remaining stuff in the tummy and reduce mass in the body.
Is it as effective as cosmetic surgery?
That's what I mean. Now, cosmetic surgery makes it very, very fast and also very addictive, because you go to sleep and when you wake up, you're looking something marvelous, and you didn't pass through any procedure, you didn't pass through any pain to get that. And if you give birth to another one,
you cannot say you did not pass through any pain. We've had cases of, we heard the J Boogies cry for help.
Oh, no,
surgery gone wrong.
Don't forget, since it's
and
a
a
big...
lot of people who have gone under the knife have come out to say it wasn't an interesting process. It was a very painful process.
There are quacks already in this business.
And they needed post-care. Even after undergoing, what was supposed to be a medical procedure, they still needed aftercare. They still needed aftercare. They still needed to hit the gym to maintain it. So, I'll ask you.
Yeah, another thing I want to highlight here is motive, all right? And like God, I don't just look at the actions. I, weigh the motive. And the truth is, what drives us is our motive. What makes us to do that thing is the motive. So, the question is, as a mother who is having some sagging body, as an individual who wants to go for plastic surgery.
So let's focus on mothers.
Mother.
Yes.
What's your motive? Why do you feel the need to do that? What makes you think that you need to go for a surgery? What makes you think that you're not okay? Now, he mentioned self-esteem, inferiority complex, which I had, talked about how you see yourself, Yes, it plays a great role in people wanting to change how they look or maintain how they look, right? And so, because because they are not okay in their skin, they can go any mile to just feel okay, because they feel like that's what makes them accepted. They feel like that's what makes them now feel important, you know, because by themselves they don't feel among, they already feel not good enough, too little, you know, so they already condemn themselves. So there is one aspect of the self-esteem, and then another thing I want to highlight
Okay,
is,
quickly please, because our time is
okay,
up.
our time is up.
Yes, please.
Okay, I think that society can also help, you know.
In 10 seconds.
Society can help in how they actually treat people who have a kind of body shape or size that don't fall into their construct as ideal body. You know, because body shaming does a whole lot, you know, for people who don't have good self-esteem.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for that contribution. We will go on a short break, and when we are back, we will talk about the next story concerning defamation. Stay with us.
From the line across the ocean to the land. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today on ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. A Facebook user, Agonzi Comedy, has tendered a series of apologies to popular Nigerian gospel singers Nathaniel Bassey and Mercy Chinwo following a case of defamation of character filed against him. The Facebook user, who urged Mercy Chinwo's husband, Blessed, to do a DNA test, has recanted and begged forgiveness from the duo. Gospel singer Bassey decided to pursue legal action by filing a petition with the police against Agonzi alongside other social media users who made such statements. Now, nearly everyone, including the high and mighty, have been a victim of cyberbullying. It's no jokes. It's no jokes, even though I just giggled about it, because I just replayed in my head that even the president has been dragged on Twitter. Who are you? Everybody gets dragged. Cyberbullying is a thing, and it's nearly, we can say it's nearly been impossible to curb it, to
Erase it.
and it's a problem. What measures do you think can be implemented, Mr. Ray, to curb trolling in the social media space, seeing that no one can escape it? Even I have been dragged, and I'm sure you have been dragged too. Gloria, you should have been dragged sometime, so you cannot escape it. Mr. Ray.
Yeah. First of all, concerning the story that brought about this, I think it's a big disservice to humanity for one to insinuate what those trolls insinuated concerning Mercy Chinwo and her husband. Because first of all, you should understand that it's not easy getting married and keeping the marriage in our present contemporary system. I mean, there are a lot of people that they are not happy people their intention is to make sure that every other person is as sad and depressed as they are. And you see this young woman that over the years, she has been dedicated to her service. She has been dedicated to her business. And she met this handsome gentleman and they got married. Of which, before they got married, the priest or the pastor said, whoever does not want these two to be married should raise their hand. And nobody came up. And they are married. So they have a child. And after some time, they decided that they want to put this child in the internet space, take a picture and share it on the internet. And all of a sudden, it is now a sensation like, this child looks like this child looks like this. Now start calling names and tracing down to Nathaniel Bassey, who is a very, very astute gentleman in his field of endeavor too. I think the first intention there, I didn't think it was to create, it wasn't to create any solution, it wasn't trying to solve any problem. They didn't say that they had a problem. I'm not talking about trolling right now. I'm talking about intentional measures towards making somebody look miserable or feel miserable. Because the person that is doing that is not also a happy person on his own. Because, I mean, there are 1,001 other insults that they could have insulted any of these parties, but they went direct to the baby.
And said
the baby looks
he said that the child looked
like Nathaniel
the
Bassey.
DNA test should be conducted.
I mean, the dad is not complaining, the mom is not complaining. You that are faceless, just with a very with a name on the internet space, you feel that you are an authority on how children should look. I don't think that person that did that has children. Because definitely we know that children evolve. The way that the child looks when he's younger, it's not the way the child will look maybe in his early teens and when he grows older. So I think it was malicious, and of which they've gone to seek redress in the courts of law. And you find out that these people will come out and like, no, we are just joking, I mean, she could lose her marriage. She could lose her joy just because somebody wanted to feel funky, somebody wanted to gain more followers online, and you attack someone's marriage as a way to make yourself more popular, or you want to make money off somebody's misery. That's a direct line to the jail. So I think that they should first of all go through the legal process, and if they are found guilty of that, they should be dealt with very much. It's more than trolling. It's going after someone's family. It's going after someone's life. It's building hatred between two loved ones and intentionally causing that. I mean, if there was real intention to find out who the child was, whose father the child was, you could have DM'd her. You could have made that a private joke. You could have made that suggestion on the low key. You could have sent emails. There are a lot of other ways, but saying it in public means that you maliciously want the doubt to spread, and that should seep into their family life and maybe break them.
So the intention was obviously evil.
It was, and you know, for a young couple, is too damaging to make that insinuation. If there are couples that they have stayed long enough to be able to weather the storms. And I also I don't also like couples bringing their kids into that kind of environment. It's not bad having to take your child's picture.
What do you suggest? Because there's no one way to these things. People should be able to express themselves on social media. That is why it is social media. You know,
yeah,
you need to be free enough to put out your child's picture, put out a picture of yourself, and without fear of being unnecessarily bullied.
Yeah.
Do you think that policies should be made? Do you think measures?
Yeah, no,
are there
definitely.
certain measures you think that can
no,
be put
I'm not even going to
curb it?
I'm not suggesting. I'm not going to suggest anything new. I mean, there are laws of the land. There are laws of every country. Everybody on Twitter, everybody on Facebook, everybody on the internet came from a country or resides in a country, and that country has laws, and such laws protect against what they call it libel. There's slander libel, those are crimes against the land. And they have, and defamation, and they have punishments attached to it. So, in as much as anybody wants to feel free to air their opinions, there is also a boundary towards it. So yes, you've aired your opinion, but at the same time, you should be ready to bear the costs and the consequences since they've already sued to court. So I think that I'm not even going to suggest what to do or what not to do. She has a right to snap her child and put it in her space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gloria. You see, Nathaniel Bassey is a man of God, in quotes, and he holds a religious position. And most religious positions preach, or most religions, so all religions preach peace and unity, especially peace. Don't you think he would have followed peace with all men and let it slide? Don't you feel that he should have let this slide as a man of God instead of suing?
Do you know how many peace he must have been allowing to slide before this came up? You know, it's how that people think they can just come online because they have data, they have a social media account, and so they feel they can just come online and make any statement about anybody. It's how they meddle into other people's business blatantly. It boggles my mind. I really cannot understand. Why? Because you want a trend. You want to gain followers. You want likes. And because, I mean, we're in a negative realm already. And negativity flies, right? Negativity flies faster. It takes longer. Post a positive news. Nobody's going to see your face. But see negative. So people are just out there. As long as you are more like a stakeholder, or you are a celebrity, especially the one that people look up to, and so there is something that could be like a stain to your name, or something that could trend that is negative about you, you see people just ready to share, because we want gossip. We like gossips. And so once anything that has to do with gossip is dropped, it just flies. So, for Nathaniel Bassey, talking about him letting peace reign, even Jesus admonishes us to respect the laws of the land, admonishes us to have sense and tread with wisdom. Come on, you don't draw the tail of a lion and expect the lion not to bite you. Say, okay, I'm trying to be peaceful. I'll forgive you for drawing my tail. It means you don't have sense. You don't see fire and go and put your hand inside. So, they have crossed the line. No, they have, and this should serve as a lesson to many others. Because, I mean, things like this have been happening. Pastors have been dragged everywhere. And what do? They follow peace with all men. But because they follow peace with all men, people don't realize that a repercussion, a consequence, there can be a penalty or punishment for such actions. I mean, Christianity is one of the most peaceful religions ever. Because there are some other religions you cannot try certain things with. You will go down immediately. You will go down. So, and humans have the propensity to abuse things. So you're trying to live peaceful with all men. They say, okay. They take advantage of it and then they abuse it. So I think that Nathaniel Bassey did absolutely what is right by seeking a legal action towards those persons. I mean, we have to learn. While people are using their social media to make meaning in their lives, grow their brands, grow their business, make money, some people are just out there for no good, to just drag people. And how they just come, they just drag. For what? To pull them down, or because you want to fly? So you want to use people's misery to blow? No. What is right has to be done.
Okay, Mr. Mbata, I see you nodding vehemently in agreement. What's your take on this?
Definitely, in as much as there is freedom of speech both on and offline. There's also punishment for breach of privacy. I think the child and the DNA of any child is the purview of the parents.
So, and Nathan Abasi is a man of God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he is supposed to be the proper... He's a bit...
You should understand, first of all, that...
Because we have never seen him come out to sue anybody publicly, to make an official statement concerning anything. It's not the first time that people have made comments on social media concerning him.
Yeah.
Or, yes, because he runs a very popular ministry.
Yeah.
So there's been negative comments too on the social media space concerning his ministry. And he's never sued anyone concerning that. Why did he have to come out to sue and not forgive like he's been forgiven? The other
you forgive someone who is already repentant. Repentance comes before forgiveness. Secondly, you're not dealing with a world of only Christians. You're dealing with also people that have malicious intent to drag you down. God gave you the wisdom of how to protect yourself in that kind of issue. Let's take, for instance, the recent case of Johnson Suleiman. There was an actress that tried those tactics, and he sued, and he got reprieve. That's also to let every other person that has intentions to back off. It's not like saying that come, let's fight. No, it's like if you decide to do more than what is accepted by law, I will follow you according to the law. I mean, David Ibiomie, when this lady, what was her name? This lady, she's a journalist too. Yet also took up his matter and was libeling against him. He took her to jail. And I think after she went to jail, Kemi Olunloyo, after she went to jail and came out, I don't think anybody wants to go against David Ibiomie again. So in as much as we pursue peace with all men, as much as possible, God also says that you should defend yourself if you want to be killed. So if it is not about defending your life, it depending your reputation, of which your reputation is tied to your ministry, and your ministry is tied to the lives of a lot of people, and a damage to your life and your ministry, and those people will also suffer. And don't forget that you are also bearing the standard for Christ. If his ministry fails, if Nathan Abbas's ministry fails, do you know how many families that will be damaged because they cannot get, not financial, I mean spiritually. There are people that wake up and if they don't listen to some songs, particularly by some artists, their days have not started. Or they get this kind of deep inspiration because they listen to so and so persons. That's why some people are attached to some men of God, because they feel that God is using through this person to bless me. If you tarnish that person's image, and that also makes people that look up to the person lose faith in that person, you have also damaged those people's lives. So the man of God himself will try as much as possible to protect the brand which he is promoting, to make sure that no libel, no slander goes against it just because somebody wants to make money. Because I think everything they were doing is because they want to make money, because the popularity will bring clout. The clout will make you money. Oh, this person went against this, let me use through his source to market this my product. After all, he was the person that yabbed this person and nobody said anything. In fact, see how many followers he got, because they have more followers now. But when they're in prison, I want to see how many followers are going to follow them to prison.
Okay.
Yeah, so the prison is not meant for only hardened criminals. It's also made for people that don't know how to control their mouth. And if somebody typed some words on internet and it damages the life of another man, it shouldn't be allowed. The laws of the land protects both those that are, and they should steam very well in the pepper soup. You get the point? So I don't feel like Nathan Abbasi did anything wrong taking the case up because it's online. It's not just online, it's also damaging. His name was called, his image was called. Now you're also thinking about the integrity he has to promote that. He has to first of all make sure that he proves to the husband of Mercy Chinwo that, I mean, these guys are, I'm not taking it lightly, because if he doesn't do that, you're creating a schism between Mercy and her husband. I mean, how would he feel like, he's just blowing it aside? Meanwhile, these people are having discussions every night. Are you sure this is my child? What stops the Mercy's husband from asking such questions? But now he's not going towards that line, because the person that was accused is also not taking it lightly. So if he doesn't sue, it's as if he's giving credence to what they are saying.
You know, they even went on to state that why was it only Nathaniel Bassey that went to her house? You see, people.
So this was a lot personal.
Can
this was
be
direct.
I'm telling you, and you will agree with me that this legal acts person himself was unrepentant. He only began to apologize after the legal action had been taken. He still came out with his full chest, saying, "No, I do not take back my statement. And Nathaniel Bassey should go and do. They should go and do a DNA for that baby." Like, where did you get? Were you sent from the pit of hell or something?
Okay.
Where did you, what gives you such confidence?
Yes.
You know.
That's great take from both of your angles. This is where we wrap it up today on Let's Talk. It's sad that we have to go at this moment. Thank you so much for being here and doing this and having this conversation. I'm sure you've said a lot of what is on people's mind, and we can all agree, we can take sides, and we can tell that indeed a lot has to be done to make the society better. This is where we wrap it up on today's episode of Let's Talk. Stay connected on ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, Twitter, Atlantic TV Net. Watch us live on our website, Atlantic Network TV. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. I am Divine Bernard. Thank you for watching.
Through the Sahara,